What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Let's do an RDA updated deck profile. Seen they've got a lot of traction lately, so I said I'd give my take on the deck, since I'm kind of like the OG. Okay, first up is Soul Resonator. It's your searcher for the deck. Searches any level 4 fiend. Gets your whole plays going pretty much, and it has a protection as well. Okay, next card we have is Earthbound Prisoner Stone Sweeper. What this card does is basically you can discard it and search for your Soul Resonator to get your plays going, but it also, if you have a field spell, it gets special on itself, so there's a few combos you can do with that. I run 3 just because it's under search card pretty much. Okay, the next card is Crimson Gaia. So Crimson Gaia basically searches anything that says Red Dragon Archfiend in its text. It also has the effect that if something is destroyed, even if you destroy your own cards, the special summons an RDA from the graveyard. So it works well with most of the deck. But again, it's another 1-card starter because anything that gets you Soul Resonator is your starter. The only problem this deck seriously has is if somebody ashes or stops your Soul Resonator, because that's your normal summon when you have 1. And it really kills the deck, but we are running cards to try and prevent that. Okay, the next 2 cards is Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is essentially a 1-card starter as well, and Resonator Call is as well. I see a lot of people running 3 Resonator Calls. The only thing is if you open up a multiple of Crimson Gaia, Soul Resonator, and Resonator Calls, you're only searching for Soul Resonator, and then you're kind of bricky dead hands. I've noticed that I only run very little Resonators bar Soul. I have other ways to search it, so I don't want to search with the spell card. Yeah, you can bait out hand traps, but it's never really that important. You know, a lot of the time your opponent doesn't really stop your Foolish Burial. So what you can do is you can Foolish Vision, and Vision searches your Crimson Gaia, and again that's why it's a starter. Okay, the next card we're running is 3 Bone Archfiend. I would love to play this card at 1 because it is searchable with Soul Resonator, but the only problem is some stuff you need in the grave, some stuff you need basically from the deck to grave or hand to grave, and Bone Archfiend just works with that. It sends a Crimson Resonator, and it sends the types of Overloop from your deck to grave or hand to grave, whatever. So it kind of helps you out with your combos a little bit, but I would like if the deck didn't rely on this as much. But yeah. Okay, the next 2 cards work in tandem with each other. So I have the new card, which is Red Lotus King Flame Crime. Very cool card. Basically what you do is if you have a Bone Archfiend, because you're running 3, you don't need to search it with Soul, so you can just search this with Soul. This special summon itself burns for a fire. Burns for the 2 fires that are on the field, let's say, and then you can go into an Abyss line with Red Rain because he also has the effect to send a trap from deck to grave. And Red Rain, once you summon a Synchro monster, Red Rain basically adds it back to the hand from the grave. So Red Rain is just a clear board wipe for whatever highest level you have on the field. But if you use it early enough, obviously your opponent wipes the board during your opponent's turn, and then you have your negate with Abyss, which is a nice little combo line. Okay, next 3 cards we have is Vision Resonator. You can Foolish this and it becomes a 1-card combo, or you can basically search it with your Crimson Resonator, which is what the combo line goes. Soul Resonator, search Bone Archfiend, send Crimson from deck to grave to make him reduce a level. Summon Red Rising summons Crimson special summons the 2 of these from the deck, and then you go off on your big play with those. Basically Synchron Resonator, if it uses Synchro, gets to search Vision back to your hand, and then Vision, if you have it in your grave, if you have Crimson Gaia, you can add it back to your hand from grave, so it's reusable. That's why I don't use more than 1. A lot of people run it 2, but I never see more than 1, so I didn't see the need for it. But yeah. Okay, the next 2 cards is Obsessive Overloop. Very good card. But yeah, basically just banishes a Synchro monster from grave, adds it back to your hand, or special summons itself by banishing a Synchro monster from anywhere. It's a level 4, so it helps you go with the Crimson Dragon plays. It's just a good extender. If you already have a way to get Crimson, Bone, and Soul, you just send this, and then it goes with your Disbatter plays. You can banish whatever, special summon it back with Disbatter. Or even have your negate with this bar. So yeah, and then Red Zone is an amazing card. Basically, Red Zone is just every turn your opponent activates something, you get to destroy something, and then it gets to special summon each turn. You can special summon on your opponent's turn when you activate, or you can special summon on your turn a banished RDA from banishment, basically. Okay, next little package I'm running is a Centurion package. Basically, what you do is you can summon, you can search with the 12 Auxilla. Centurion Auxilla from the extra deck. Basically search for your stand up, Stand up will, with a discard, get you Centurion Primarina. Primarina special summoned itself to search a Centurion Gargoyle. You can pop either Primarina or stand up with Gargoyle, special summon Gargoyle, and at the end of the turn, Auxilia will special summon back Primarina, and then you can go for your Crimson Dragon and Calamity Lock that way. I just want to say as well, with the field spell as well, it works with Earthbound Immortal Stone Sweeper, so that's another little added bonus. The next card I want to talk about is Shining Star Dragon. This is just a tech. This makes it, I think, 42 cards in the main deck. But Shining Star Dragon is like basically a Centurion card. It's a hand trap as well, so during your opponent's turn, you can just target like a RDA in the grave, special summon it, special summon this, and then go for a Crimson Dragon that way. Just if your opponent does stop your Centurion plays, you can go for that, you know. I just wanted to get them all in the shot for this. But anyway, these are your hand traps you're running. Yes, you have one Nibiru, 3 Ash Blossom, 1 Ghostlight Moonlight Chill, 1 Effect Failure, and obviously 3 of the Amphibs. What's really bad? Can't remember. But 3 Amphibs, yeah. Just to round off your hand traps, basically. Okay, the next 2 cards are Triple Tactics Talents. Basically, you want kind of, if your opponent stops Soul Resonator, you're kind of finished unless you have the legs of Bone Archfiend. Hence why if your opponent ashes Soul, we do Triple Tactics and hope to God out with the 2 draw we get a Bone Archfiend. Or if your opponent had a 4, you can just take that, or a 3 or whatever they have. Just keep going with your plays. And then cross out. This deck needs cross out badly. Like that, if your opponent just knows where to hit, it can stop the deck completely. If you hit Red Rising or you hit Soul, the deck pretty much just stops in its place. So we want to run as many cards as we can to stop that from happening. Hence the Call by the Grave as well. So that's it for the main decks, 42. Let's get into the extra deck. Okay, next card is Red Rising Dragon. I see a lot of people running 3 of this. I don't see why. I never ever go in. I barely ever go into the second one, so the third one. I know they're running more of the new level 3, the Crimson Flame or whatever his name is. But yeah, that's why I run 2 instead of 3. But basically, yeah, if you're going and your opponent doesn't go off and your big board is going to be enough, you don't really need to run more than 1. But obviously with the new search, yeah, you can do it. Like, yeah, so the way it works basically is you summon this with Bone Archfiend and Soul, or the other guy, the Lotus King, and then you special summon back your Soul or your Crimson Resonator, whatever you do, and then your plays go off based off that. If you summon Soul, you're going to go into your Abyss play with your Red Rain, and if you go into your Crimson, you're going to go off into like Dispatter and RDA and Abyss, and then go for your Auxilia and Calamity Lock, basically. Okay, I'm running the 1 Koi Belt, the Blade Dragon, just in case your opponent does Ash, or just in case your opponent does stop stuff, even stops your Bone Archfiend from doing its stuff. You can go for Koi Belt. It's not a bad card. It just, I've never really seen it because I try my best for my opponent not to stop me. But yeah, pretty much. Okay, next, see a lot of people running multiples of each of these, but I don't see the need. You have Scar Dragon, which is always the first level 8 I go into. If I can't go into my plays, I just go into Scar Light. But Scar, basically, when he's got rid of, you get to summon RDA and then destroy everything, face up attack position, monster your opponent trolls. And then Red Dragon Archfiend is just constantly bring him back from banish, graveyard, wherever. Okay, next 2 cards are Abyss, which is your face up negate. He does special summons other stuff from the grave. We're running Trishula because if we can't get into our Calamity Lock, we use Crimson Dragon with Abyss to go in for Trishula, and then it stops your opponent pretty much, but you have to obviously wait till your opponent has something in the field, grave in hand, and then you banish 1 of each. But yeah. Okay, next 2 cards are Dispatter and Bane. I'll only ever go into Bane if I don't have anything to banish, because then it's pointless using Dispatter. I know you can bring Dispatter back later, but you can always summon Dispatter later as well. So I'll go into Bane. Because he can be special summoned as well back from the grave, it doesn't really matter. But I'll only use Dispatter if I have my banish to special summon and keep my plays going. And I'll use them for a later kind of time. Okay, next cards are Crimson Dragon, which makes it all possible. Calamity Lock, basically just target a synchro monster and special summon a dragon synchro monster at the same level. Auxilia lets you search for a Centurion card, which would be the field spell. You activate your field spell, search for Primarina. Primarina special summons Gargoyle. Gargoyle destroys Primarina. And then Auxilia's second effect is bring Primarina back from the graveyard. Okay, and these are the last 3 cards in the extra deck. So this is Red Nova Dragon. I'm not really using it, but eventually when Scar Red Nova, I think is the Earthbound card that comes out, you'll be able to easily and readily go into this, as well as being searchable with Gaia. And it's just a big beat stick that kind of can't be destroyed by effects of opponent's spells and traps and monsters and stuff. So it's kind of cool as a little defensive thing. I'll only go into Red Supernova with Crimson if I need it, or your opponent stops you with other stuff. You can do it with Crimson Dragon as well, and it's just like, it does exactly what Red Rain does and just like, pops everything and then special itself back during standby phase. It's not a great card, but it gets pretty high attack. And then your Calamity Lock basically is your main go-to. With your effects. You can always change this for Cosmic Blaze Iron, and depending on what you need, you can go into that. But yeah, so that's pretty much the deck profile. I go do a quick side deck just to have a look. Okay, a bit of a weird one. I'm running 2 Lava Golem. Basically, I play a lot against a lot of Evil Seeds and stuff like that. So you kind of want board wipey cards. So that helps. Like getting over 3,000 beat stick monster isn't that much of a deal, but getting over all your negates and stuff is what the problem is. So that's why I run Lava Golem. I'm running the 1 Wild Wind. I think he's a good card. I'd feel like I'd get rid of 1 bone maybe for him. He can banish himself and search for Resonator. But yeah, I mean, he's okay. Okay, next. These can be any kind of hand traps that just work with cross out. But depending again, if you're playing against like that Evil Seeds like I am, Ghost Bell's a good thing to side in, or anything that works in the grave. Ghost Ogre's another good one against Tempai. And then Katakuri Divine Carnate. It's just a good board wipe. When your opponent activates all, it's basically a nib, but it's a good card. Yeah. Okay, next 3 cards are a second Vision Resonator. I mean, I don't feel like I need it, but if I did, I like to have it there just in case. Like that with Foolish and stuff. Red Screen is very good against Tempais. Basically, if you control a Red Dragon Archfiend, your opponent cannot declare attacks. Even if you don't have RDA. If you do have a Red Dragon Archfiend, you just target 200 in the graveyard, destroy it, and special summon a monster. And then Scarlet Security is a searchable Harpy's Feather Duster. So, I mean, why wouldn't you? Especially with back row heavy decks. It's just searchable. So, like, Vision Resonator goes to the grave because it says Red Dragon Archfiend on it. You can just search it. Gaia searches it. So just if you need it. Okay, last couple of cards is D-Barrier for Tempais. And then either thing, really. Yeah. And then Evenly Matched. You can have that at any hand trap. If you think there's a more used hand trap, maybe a Shifter. Just to stop cross out, you can use that. But yeah, that was the deck profile, guys. I hope you like the video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I hope to be doing more. Who knows? But yeah, thanks for watching. Good luck.